Hi everyone, Comic Book Reviewer here, this time doing part 2 of my Ultimate Comics Spider-Man graphic novel review. Now, pretty much we left off where Johnny Storm's now part of the Parker family. Now let's get on to the next part. Meanwhile, later during the mall at closing time, MJ and one of her co-workers saying, I don't understand why we can't have the food. They don't sell it at the end of the day at shift, they just throw it out. Do you want it? It's gross, I know, but I just hate that they... So this guy comes to ask MJ out if they want to be boyfriend and girlfriend, and you think about it, he's clearly a college student, so wouldn't that just seem a bit wrong? So, pretty much, MJ just saying, I do have a boyfriend. And pretty much, this guy here, who's pretty much shown to hit off on young girls, pretty much has a gun and pretty much makes him run off. And pretty much, Shroud shows up, takes them down, MJ runs off in fear, and pretty much takes them down, and pretty much Shroud says, who are you? Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm fine. Who are you? You should go home. And she pretty much asks, you sound like you're my age. And Shroud pretty much leaves. And pretty much Johnny Storm and the others are talking or having pizza and discussing what they're going to do. And pretty much that Aunt May points out that Johnny Storm can live in Peter Parker's room. And also that they're going to add some new chores for him on the chore wheel. I like how they put in the torture. And even they say, oh, there'll be chores. So meanwhile at school, MJ talks about what happened, and they have a discussion about it. And pretty much MJ just takes this personally, saying, I should never have broken up with you. Whoa, what? And pretty much this has Gwen and the others talking about it, and pretty much Peter leaves, heading off to where the bridge is, and due to an incident happening, but they both say, don't get hurt. And they both realise they both still have feelings for Peter Parker. Peter gets into action, goes in to take down whatever's causing it, and it's the Hulk. Spider-Man hopes that he remembers him, but pretty much has to deal with him trashing things down, blowing things up, and pretty much just has Peter being smashed around, and Peter realising that it's just a hologram, and that he ends up getting blown up by Mysterio. So meanwhile, Kitty Pryde's mother is talking to school to not get rid of Kitty Pryde, and she notices something cold in her house, even though the temperature is freezing in here. So she gets a knife to defend herself, and she realises it's Bobby Drake, who used to be one of the X-Men, who was kicked out of his house by his parents due to the whole ultimatum thing, and now on the run, who wants a place to stay. So Peter's about to be unmasked until Shroud shows up and takes down Mysterio, where Peter Parker knocks him down, and Mysterio is pretty much being tossing him around. And pretty much you have what Mysterio is. Now this is meant to be the main Marvel Quentin Beck due to the whole story arc Spider-Man. Now this does indicate that he did use the disguise to take out his anger on Peter Parker, but probably didn't want to get himself killed, so had to use the android body. So this has the bridge being blown up, and Mysterio making a quick break for it. So meanwhile, Shroud leaves. Well, everyone wants to get Peter Parker's autograph, including this goth girl. And meanwhile, at the Pryde house, Kitty Pryde and her mum are talking about what they're going to do with Bobby and what's going to happen. So meanwhile, Peter Parker goes up to the police department where the chief of police talk, and he finds a bit of evidence from Mysterio and stuff, and hoping to use it. So meanwhile, MJ shows up, where you see Bobby Drake and the Prydes together, and they are pretty much talking about what they're going to do with Bobby now that he's got no home since his parents kicked him out, and that they're planning to let him stay. Now, this kind of reminds you of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, but except with Johnny Storm instead of Firestar. Now, pretty much Mysterio takes up to more extreme measures by using his androidic weaponry. And now that Bobby's with them, they're pretty much the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends now. So, pretty much, they come up with new ideas on giving them new identities. By Johnny Storm, they dye his hair black. With Bobby, they shave off his head, much to his dismay. And pretty much, he says, I love my hair. You know who you sound like? Who? My cousin. You have a cousin? I do now. So they're able to manipulate the principal by saying that they're cousins, but he decides to take the fact seriously and pretty much offers to take them in as students. So, meanwhile, the next morning, Johnny Storm and Iceman are now part of the school, where MJ tries to talk with it about it, and pretty much, like typical Marvel schools, the doors get blown up, where you have the Mysterio robot. And Peter Parker realizing that Mysterio had found his way into their school. So he gets everyone out, so Peter Parker has to get into costume to deal with Mysterio. And pretty much you're having Peter Parker deal with Mysterio, and Bobby Drake and Iceman having to deal with the threats. And Peter having to rescue the principal, Shroud getting into action, and pretty much Johnny Storm destroying any possible evidence and pointing out that he just destroyed anything that could lead them to Mysterio. And Johnny Storm says, oh yeah, Reed yelled at me about that once, so good call, sorry. So he destroyed any possible evidence, and this causes Johnny Storm and Spider-Man to leave, or Iceman doesn't do anything, and he's pretty much upset about it. And it turns out Shroud is actually Kitty Pryde, with a little blood dripping from her nose. She just takes this as a good beating. So pretty much Mysterio is talking now, knowing that the police have found him, and they're going to have any evidence lead to him. So it ends up with him destroying his hideout, where the where the captain says, damn it, so close. And you have the possible designs and everything, and the books you can get. Now, the graphic novel feels pretty good. It's kind of like the after effects of the Ultimatum, and how Peter Parker's friends are affected by it, the people he's met, and how he's coping with it. I think this deserves a good thumbs up. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.